Oh, but Henry's mother knew things could change. Do you see those leaves blowing in the wind? They are torn from the trees like slave children are torn from their families. One morning, the master called for Henry and his mother. They climbed the white staircase. The master lay in bed with only his head above the quilt. He was very ill. He beckoned them to come.
Does ill mean sick?
Yes, he did. He beckoned them to come closer. Some slaves were freed by their owners. Henry's heart beat fast. Maybe the master would set him free. Uh-oh. But the master said, "You're a good worker, Henry. I'm giving you to my son. You must obey him and never tell a lie." Henry nodded, but he didn't say thank you. That would have been a lie. Later that day, Henry watched a bird soar high above the trees. Free bird, happy bird, Henry thought. Henry said goodbye to his family. He looked across the field. The leaves swirled in the wind. Oh, poor Henry. Henry worked in his new master's factory. He was good at his job. "Do not tear the tobacco leaf," the boss yelled at the new boy. He poked the boy with the stick. If you made a mistake, the boss would beat you.
This is where I am.
Okay.
Even just one tiny mistake.
I know. He was a little boy. So think about that. How hard. These were real kids that were doing stuff like that. Henry was lonely. One day he met Nancy, who was shopping for her mistress.
What's mistress?
Her owner. She was a female. They walked and talked and agreed to meet again. Henry felt like singing, but slaves didn't dare sing in the streets. Instead, he hummed all the way home. Months later, Henry asked Nancy to be his wife. When both their masters agreed, Henry and Nancy were married. Soon there was a little baby, then another and another. Henry knew they were very lucky.
There were 3 babies? Or just 2?
Yes, 3 babies. There's a
Where's
little
the
baby.
third?
Well, in the picture, right there. In her arms, see, this is the blanket.
Oh, I didn't.
Henry knew they were very lucky. They lived together even though they had different masters. But Nancy was worried. Her master had lost a great deal of money. "I'm afraid he will sell our children," she said. Henry sat very still. Henry worked hard all morning. He tried to forget what Nancy had said.
Uh-oh.
His friend James came into the factory. He whispered to Henry, "Your wife and children were just sold at the slave market." "No!" cried Henry. He couldn't move. He couldn't think.
Wait, how could they get in the house?
They own them. The owners own them. Everything about them, the owners own. He couldn't think. He couldn't work. "Twist that tobacco," the boss poked Henry. Henry twisted tobacco leaves. His heart twisted in his chest. At lunchtime, Henry rushed to the center of town. A large group of slaves were tied together. The owners shouted at them. Henry looked for his family. "Father, father!" Henry watched his children disappear down the road. Where was Nancy? Oh, look there. He saw her.
Look at the rope.
Yeah. He saw her the same moment she saw him. He wiped away his tears. Nancy, too, was gone.
Where's Nancy?
She's going down that with those people over here. And these are his kids.
They've been separated?
Yes. Henry no longer sang. He couldn't hum. He went to work, and at night he ate supper and went to bed. Henry tried to think of happy times, but all he could see were carts carrying away everyone he loved. Henry knew he would never see his family again. So this is where you guys read up to? And now you need to read up to where?
You need to read it all.
Okay, go read it with Richard, and then I'll read it from there. So I want you guys to read it first, and then I'll read it from there. Bless you, baby. Ooh, you have to blow your nose.